All right, welcome back to our Arizona Diamondbacks OOTP save. So it's been a while, obviously. What you won't have seen is me recording about an hour and a half of footage and having the game crash in the middle of it, putting us back all the way to the start of the season. So, with that said, this episode still is going to go ahead as planned. I am going to play the Los Angeles Dodgers game, and then I'm going to do the MLB draft. Just to give you a quick update on a couple of things in our front office. New scout, Logan White. He's legendary scouting internationally, and he's outstanding scouting amateurs and the minor leagues. So hopefully he'll have a better idea of what our assets are and the assets that we can get as well. I've also cut Yasmani Tomas. I thought that it would let me just put that all on this year, but it made me spread it. So that kind of sucks. If I had known that, I may have made a different decision, but I tried trading him and I could get literally nothing for him. So this was an option, and it's just kind of something that we'll have to deal with, but nothing too huge. As things stand, rosters have not really changed much. I am going to bring up one person, which I thought that I had already done, but I'm going to bring up Kevin Cron onto the big league roster, and he is going to slot in to our lineup every once in a while as a backup to Wilmer Flores. So that should be all the housekeeping. I'll give you one quick teasing look at John Duplantier, who looks a lot better under this scout than he did under the last one, and Jazz Chisholm also looks slightly better. So both people that I'm expecting to be good in the future. Let's get right into this game against Los Angeles. All right, so game was delayed today, but that doesn't really affect anything for us. Zach Greinke going to be on the mound? And if you haven't ever watched me do one of these before, essentially what I like to do generally is kind of go through the first inning as it happens, and then I try to just give a sort of a shorter overview of the rest of the game going into the intense moments, kind of simming until they're runners in scoring position or if something super interesting is happening. So let's get started. All right, so Clayton Kershaw scoring up against Tim LeCastro, who we've chosen to be our leadoff hitter. That's going to go straight to the second baseman for the first out. So one down for Kershaw. Ketel Marte. He's also going to hit it into the same spot, but this one's going to go straight through the legs of the second baseman, and that will be, I guess, ruled a hit. Yeah, it will. So Ketel Marte reaches base. Eduardo Escobar up to face Kershaw. That's going to be into foul territory, and looks like the third baseman, Muncy, is going to be able to grab it. Or, excuse me, Turner. Wilmer Flores now up. Flores is actually surprisingly good against lefties, so this could be an opportunity for him to crush. He hits this one into right field. It's not going to hit grass, though. And that'll be the first inning over for Kershaw. A.J. Pollock up to face Zach Greinke. Interesting matchup here between Greinke and Kershaw, as Ahmed makes a good catch there. Of course, they were teammates back in L.A., and now they are rivals, as are our two teams. This one into center field, a great diving catch by Ketel Marte. Look at that. That was excellent. Greinke gets saved a little bit and remains clean. Justin Turner makes slight contact, goes to Ahmed, makes the throw. That's going to be the first inning gone, and now we're just going to kind of go until there are runners in scoring position. So Kershaw made it through a clean second, and Greinke does the same. Kershaw clean in the third. Zach Greinke unfortunately cannot say the same. Has Kershaw on third, Pollock on second, and Corey Seager at the plate. Let's see if he can get rid of him. That's into center field. Marte might have a play here, and he does, and that'll be the inning. So the Dodgers strand a couple. Kershaw, another clean inning. Zach Greinke, clean inning. Okay, these guys are rolling. Kershaw gets one clean, and Greinke only at 63 pitches, so as long as he stays clean, I'm going to leave him in. Unfortunately, 2 straight walks to lead off the fourth, or excuse me, to lead off the fifth. And now Austin Barnes up at the plate. That's into center field. Marte should deal with it easily. And he does. Runner chooses not to go, and that's 1 out. Kershaw should be an easy out. Lays down a bunt. And they're going to get him, but move the runners over. So runners second and third. A.J. Pollock. Anything will get him out here. And they just can't make the play at third base. That's really disappointing. They're going to make the play at the plate, though, so it'll only be a 1-0 lead. Excellent throw in from left field to Carson Kelly to retire the side, and Kelly will be up at the top of the sixth, which Kershaw once again deals with. The dude is a machine. Greinke up against Corey Seager. He gets through a clean one. So, as we get pretty deep into this game, Greinke now at 95 pitches. I'm going to go batter by batter with him. Max Muncy is going to be the first one he will face here in the bottom of the seventh. That's hit fairly weakly into right field. Souza Jr. gets it. It'll bring up Enrique Hernandez as the pitch count eclipses 100. That's going to be harder hit into left field. And that will be a hit down. I believe I have the warm-up rule enabled. I do. So I'm going to get Archie Bradley going. And we'll see where that takes us. Jock Peterson up. Peterson, this could be a double play, and it will. So a 4-6-3 double play, and the Dodgers will still lead by 1, but Greinke will survive another inning as Kershaw comes up with only 81 pitches. That's ridiculous. And we'll get a solo homer from Steven Souza Jr., so let me see if I can find a look at that. So, can't find the replay button. If you know where that is, let me know. I knew where it was in last year's game, but I guess I'll have to do a little bit more searching around when I have a bit more time, get more comfortable with the game as we go on. Instead, I think we are just going to go straight backs to runners in scoring position as Kershaw gets out of the rest of the inning. So, tie game, bottom of the 8th. Archie Bradley is ready, and I'm going to bring him in. Greinke did his job, got us more than I expected, actually, 7 innings. And so Bradley will come in to face Barnes, maybe Kershaw, depending on if they leave him in, and then Pollock. So first up is Barnes. He'll get a strike in there, and that'll do Barnes in. Brad Miller's going to be the pinch hitter, so Kershaw is out of this game. Bradley gets a pop-up into the infield. That's going to be dealt with by Nick Ahmed. And Bradley quickly has 2 outs here. A.J. Pollock looks like he's going to line out to center, and that'll be the bottom of the 8th. So, top of the 9th. Kenley Jansen enters, and Ketel Marte is up. This game could change in a hurry at any moment as Marte strikes out. Eduardo Escobar, he strikes out as well. And Wilmer Flores, he is going to be hit by a pitch. So we have a runner on. David Peralta up. He absolutely crushes righties. And we're going to get a back pick attempt at 3 balls and 1 strike. Next pitch. And it's going to be grounded to the second baseman. And that'll end the inning. Archie Bradley definitely has the ability to go multiple innings, but I am going to get somebody warming up behind him. I think it's going to be Jimmy Sherfy. So Jimmy Sherfy going to get up in the pen, and Bradley to face Corey Seager. That's hit to Ahmed. Long throw, but a good one, and he will get the out. Justin Turner now up. And that one's going to be deep into center field. Not going to be handled well by Marte. And that's going to be a double. So, the night in danger as Bradley takes on Bellinger, who he walks. And I think that I'm just going to throw Sherfy in. Jimmy Sherfy. Decent reliever. Nothing special, but I think the right guy for the moment. Muncy strikes out on the fastball. That'll bring up Enrique Hernandez, who could end this game or prolong it. And that one's going to be hit to the third baseman. Can he make the play anywhere? He can. Chooses to go to second base. Gets Bellinger. LA fails to score, but we will go to the top of the 10th. Get some free baseball. Steven Souza Jr. He's going to strike out. Kenley Jansen has been dealing today, as he usually does. And he's going to walk Nick Ahmed. So control has been the issue for him today. And that'll bring in Scott Alexander, the lefty, to face Carson Kelly. And Kelly will strike out. So 2 outs now. We are going to pinch hit for Sherfy, because as you do, nothing but lefties on the bench. And I think, let me check their splits. So the best one against lefties by not much is Jake Lamb. So we're going to throw him in. And we're also going to get Greg Holland warming up in the pen. So Jake Lamb to face Alexander. That's going to be hit right into the shift, but it goes through the legs of the shortstop, and so we will continue this inning, and Locastro will face Alexander. So a defensive miscue there, but it looks like it's not going to cost him as Turner makes a good throw, and that'll be the end of the inning. Greg Holland, not quite warm, but we are going to put him in, and he will face Peterson, Barnes, and then Chris Taylor. And he will strike out Peterson. Barnes now up. And that's going to be a low ball 4. So Barnes will go to first. He's the winning run. I'm going to get somebody warming up. I think it's going to be Andrew Chafin. And that's a passed ball, so the winning run goes to second. And I'm not feeling exceptionally confident about this right now. Chris Taylor, though, he's going to smack one into right field. This will almost certainly score the runner, and that will be ball game. A triple for Chris Taylor ends it. And that's game over for us on the first day of the season, unfortunately. Greinke put in a shift for us. Bradley was good, and as was Sherfy, but Greg Holland couldn't get the job done. And we are going to regret that one slightly. Hopefully it's not too bad, but hopefully that also gives you a good idea of the talent level on this club. And Zach Greinke, still pretty good, huh? So we are going to sim all the way up to draft day. I'm going to give you a summary of what's been on since then, and I'll also go through the draft with you. Probably do about 8 or 10 rounds, and we will get right into this thing. So I'll see you then. All right, so here we are. It is draft day, and right now we are kind of a decent but unspectacular team, 30 and 32. It's not amazing. Zach Greinke has been good, but the rest of our pitching staff has been pretty awful. Our bullpen has also not been quite as good as expected. Just underperformance from a lot of guys. Archie Bradley's been kind of the one rock there. We also had an injury to TJ McFarland, which isn't huge. That actually made us call up Joey Kriebel, who's been good in his 1 inning of work so far. Tim Locastro has also kind of been injured in and out with a knee contusion. He's still been in the lineup mostly, but obviously hasn't been hitting that well. If you look at our weighted on-base average, which is meant to be general overview of contributions on the offensive side, kind of in a similar scale to like on-base percentage. 313 is 8th, so it's not very good, but it's not rock bottom either. And then if you look at our FIP, it is rock bottom, 12th. So, or close to rock bottom at least. None of those are very good. Runs against 12th as well. Our defense is actually surprisingly okay, but other than that, yeah, we've been, like I said, slightly above average perhaps, but not great. John Duplantier is knocking on the door. The only thing keeping him down right now really is just kind of a reluctance to call him up. And also his control has been a little bit shaky. It's been slightly better recently, which is why I'm considering calling up. But 3 walks per 9, even in AAA, is kind of eh. So that's where the team is right now. I did make one move. So super small trade, but we traded Adam Jones for Matt Wivinis. So not a big move, but Jones was getting $3 million in salary, and he was down on the minor league club, and I just didn't really fancy playing him, so traded him away. Got what I think is maybe a decent relief piece, especially if the control comes through. He is a ground ball pitcher, so hopefully that will help him out as well as having a strikeout stuff. And we'll see how it goes. Kind of a very low play, but we made it, so there you go. That said, let's get right into the first-year player draft. We have a ton of picks in this, so it might take a little bit longer than usual, but we are going to be making many first-round picks, so we should start right now. Gonna just auto-draft until first pick and get a scouting recommendation straight off the bat. Let me make sure my scouting is correct, and we are not filtering anybody out. Okay, so he wants me to take Michael Curiale, who looks like pretty damn good third baseman, although he is a ground ball hitter, which I don't love. Let's go to batting potential and sort by that first, just to get a good idea. Who is Hunter Barco? He's a decent pitcher, but he looks like an amazing hitter. Wow. Not really a home anywhere on defense. But wow, you look good. So that's definitely a name I'm looking at. Maurice Hampton, another name that I'm looking at. Speed, decent all around, line drive hitter, probably decent as well in center field. Could be an option. Xavier Carter, probably somebody I'm going to let slip, but good power, which is always important. Yeah, just not a ton of bats that I'm into, as it turns out, so I'm going to sort by starters now. There's nobody that's really catching my eye here either other than Barco, so I think I may actually just go Hunter Barco. Although I'm hesitant to take a two-way player. Sidearm pitcher with a changeup that may never develop. And a batter who, albeit very good, doesn't really have a defensive home. Oh man, it's super tempting. It really is. In theory, he's a better hitter than Curiale. But Curiale is also younger and has a defensive home. Oh man. Alright, well, I think I'm just gonna go for it with Barco, right? Take the deep shot down the field. We'll see if it works out for us. So, scouting director recommends Michael Curiale, who is still on the board at 26. So, I would say that worked out pretty dang well for us. And now we are in the supplemental round where we have so many picks. You will not believe how many picks we have. So, Xavier Carter's still there. Tyler DeMartino, not great on defense. He's got a good bat, though. That could be his carrying tool. Nobody really stands out with power. Maybe this Tyler Callahan guy. He's definitely a third baseman. High intelligence. Hmm. I'm liking the look at him for the most part. Yeah, I think it's looking like Tyler Callahan for me. Power potential, hopefully the intelligence to reach it. It's a bit of an over slot pick, but what can you do? And then we obviously have the pick right after that. So this is who my scout recommends. Jamari Baylor, who looks very good according to OSA. Oh my god. Well, I mean, I'd have to pick him, I think, just for that reason. That's incredible. I definitely haven't seen anybody like that on the rest of the board, so you're in, buddy. So trying to look for pitchers now. Evan Fitterer looks pretty nice. OSA doesn't like him quite as much, but my scout does. If we look at his scouting page, worthwhile development project for a future rotation spot. That's not the most inspiring thing that I've seen written about a pitcher, but I think it might just be good enough to get me to take him, just because the rest of the starting pitching is just looking really bad. I really don't see anybody else that I would really want to pick. Maybe somebody like JJ Goss, but yeah, I'm not in love with him either for sure. So I think we're going to go ahead and take Evan Fitterer. And we are still in the first round, by the way, in case you were wondering. My scout wants me to go Tyler DeMartino. There's nobody else that I've really seen that I like. So, yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty much with him there. Maybe if this guy, low loyalty, work ethic, and leadership. Yeah, maybe not. Sorry, Bobby Zmarlzak? Sure, we'll go with that. Another common theme in this series is going to be me mispronouncing names, so DeMartino is in, because it's slightly easier. Alright, finally into the second round. So, my scouting director wants me to take this guy who has high work ethic and intelligence. You know, he's not spectacular, but I like that profile. And I don't see it a lot, to be honest with you. And there's just not much else out there. Not an amazing draft class, to be sure. See, guys like Rodolfo Betancourt, I'm always interested in, but the problem for me is that when you have no power, it just seems like it's difficult for you to be a contributor in this day and age. So, don't think I could take him. So it turns out I actually had a filter on that I didn't realize. And OSA has a ton of these guys rated really highly, and I just hadn't been looking at it at all. And some of these guys look like they could be, I mean, according to OSA, superstars. So I'm going to try and find one where my scout is slightly lower, but not a ton lower. And then we'll kind of go from there. Maybe somebody like a Cole Hinkleman that my scout doesn't love, but also thinks is decent. Maybe somebody like that. And we'll draft them in this pick. So it seems like to me OSA is just full of it, but I am going to take Kadon Morton because he's the guy that the scouts are closest on in agreement. And I mean, if he turns out like those OSA ratings, obviously he's going to be a star. I don't think he will, but just landing somewhere in the middle of those two would still be a really, really good hitter, especially if he actually can play center field, which it looks like he might be able to. So we're going to take a shot in the dark there, and then we are going to find somebody else. So Jeremy Edens is kind of a decent option with our third round pick, and I think I'm going to go ahead and take him. There's just nobody else that I really like all that much. Smarlzak is kind of an option, but I actually like the chances of Edens reaching his potential more than I like the chances of Bobby reaching his, so I'm just going to go ahead and go with Edens. So my scout pretty much hates all the pitchers that are left here in, I believe, the 4th round. So I'm kind of doing the same thing with OSA ratings. This guy, Chance Denson, is pretty close on both. He's got the 3 things that you would look for, which are that he, has really good stuff, and then the movement and control aren't too far behind. So for that type of pitcher, he checks the boxes on OSA. For our scout, he obviously doesn't, but again, landing somewhere in the middle of those two would give us like John Duplantier, which would be really nice. So I'm going to, I think, go ahead and grab him here. All right, round 5, and I think I'm going to take Chris McElvain. The well is really starting to run dry, especially on the pitching side, so I think I may take like one more, and then I'm going to be out on the pitching side of things. So that does it for pitching, I think, for me, and we'll go to round 6. Right, I know I said no more pitchers, but I'm actually taking this guy as a hitter. Gregory Veliz, solid contact, possible plus power, and then solid eye and avoid Ks. Really just not a ton out there, so he's one of the more well-rounded hitters that are left. So I'm going to go ahead and take him and then figure out what's going to be in the 7th, because it is not going to be easy. All right, one of the few guys that's signable with power is Jared Hart left, so we're going to take him. I've been at the point where I'm just kind of looking for single skills for a long time at this point, and power is a standout one. I would go Xavier Carter. I might just go him in like the 8th or the 9th, because I think that's about all I'm going to show anyway. So I think that's what I'll do, and then, if we sign him, great. If not, no one else gets him. So that said, our scouting director wants us to take Alec Marsh, a pitcher, which is, why do you like him? You don't like him. So don't recommend him to me. Ridiculous. I'm not going to fire my scout again, though, I promise. I like him. We have a good working relationship sometimes. Okay, I'm going to take Xavier Carter. What the hell? There, I did it. Josiah Dixon. Well, if he's what OSA says he is, he's not making it out of A-ball. If he's what my scout says he is, he might actually be decent. So, yeah, sure. Thanks for a good recommendation. I'm going to go one more round. I'll actually pay a little bit more attention during this one and see if I can get somebody decent, although it's going to be tough, as you can see. So I'll look at a couple of players and then I'll be back. All right, so this Gunnar Halter kid is just looking kind of like the best that I can get. Not taking him as a pitcher, once again, taking him as a hitter. He has average or better tools across the board, literally everywhere on offense. So apart from catcher, there's not really anything he can't do, and hopefully that will help us out. So Gunnar Halter, that's going to be my last pick of this draft, and then I'm just going to allow it to auto-draft the rest of it. And here is our draft haul. So looks like we also got this guy who OSA kind of likes, but is an impossible sign in the 13th. Everybody else, though, looks like they should be signable. Hardest one is going to be Tyler Callahan, but I think we should be able to get him too. I'm really happy with that crop overall, especially up at the top. Barco and Carrial, Callahan, Baylor, I think all those guys could be really good, and hopefully that turns us into a successful one. 6 first-round picks in the end, which is not why I chose the Diamondbacks, but it's sure a nice reason to be here. So I'm going to get these guys signed up off camera, and I think that is going to be the end of the episode. And then next episode, we will be coming back somewhere around the trade deadline, I have a feeling, just because I might be selling some players off and or buying them. You never know. If we make a charge up the league standings, I'm not opposed to going for it, as long as I don't have to give up any of our what I consider to be core prospects going forward, like a Jazz Chisholm or something like that. So that'll do it for this one. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. Hit that like button for the algorithms, because I don't care about it, but the algorithms do. Definitely leave a comment. I'm always down around in the comments, and I love talking baseball or the series with anybody. And I will see you guys on the next episode.